All right. I think we got the audio and visual check up. Hello, everyone. This is Greg Sablon, the Painter Servant, on the Grindstone. So usually I do a lot of Commander games, but I wanted to do this one thing because box openings are cool, and I thought maybe instead of just box openings, I'd be able to try out. Just highlighting a few things like deck techs and also altars, right? So, yeah, that's me in the center. You could follow me on any number of different social media platforms. You could see all those different things on the left hand side. I do need to make an update to that because WotC has already selected a new Commander format panel, and I was summarily dropped. But it's all good. I'm still supporting the community as always. And then, the military community, the altars community, those communities are where it's at. So I want to make sure that's still represented. Yeah, actually, I think the announcement's going to come out. B Brew 99. That's coming up soon, so expect that. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty details of it, but just so you know, there is no longer military representation and altars community representation on the CFP. So you won't see my happy ass as part of the latest article that's going to come out. But all's well, all's good. Yep. And just as a reminder for TC2 Player, if you are purchasing any singles of any kind, feel free to use my affiliate link, which will be popping up in the chat pretty much fairly often. So I don't know how long this particular stream is going to take, but I think we'll have a good time regardless. Okay, transitioning to the next thing. As always, I did mention previously already, but the military community and the altars communities are the primary communities I support. On the bottom right hand side of the screen is AMP, the Alliance of Military Magic Players. You could reach us there. We have a pretty decent team with us that help admin and moderate the page on Facebook. Scan the QR code and you can find any number of different social media platforms where we hail. We support, of course, every sort of service member. It doesn't matter if you're Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guardsman, or if you're a Guardian, right? So we want to make sure that is properly represented. And we do have a group out there, primarily that operates on Facebook, where we try to connect folks globally. So check us out. On the top right-hand side of the screen, of course, I can't proceed with the stream without mentioning them. Hell yeah, B Brew 99, Guardian, Space Force all the way, brother. But yeah, the Sublime MTG Ultras page, you could find us. Again, scan the QR code. We operate primarily on Facebook, but we also have a decent following on Instagram. Give us a shout out if you own an altar or also want to commission. Actually, it turns out we just closed commissions, so we won't be open back up until March. However, we are going to be putting out some really great stock altars that will be sold, hopefully, including, well, we just sold the one that we posted today. There's a highlight I'm going to have on the stream for Tifa Lockhart on a Rowley Tutor. So if you stick around long enough, you'll be able to see that really cool altar, and we can, really just highlight that the community of altar artists is there, and we want to show the great work that our team has been able to put together over the last since 2016 when we started. So it's almost been 10 years since we began. Anyway, that's Michiko and Kamiko. They do some really great work. Check out the page. All right, I think what we're waiting for is the actual real content of the stream. So let's get there and we can start. Okay. So I think it's been a while since I've done the box openings, but we're gonna go ahead and proceed. I think a lot of folks are interested in the MTG Chocobo Bundle. That's gonna be the first thing that we're gonna be able to open. And I won't lie, I missed out on the first wave of availability, and the Chocobo Bundle. It's funny because you're trying to figure out when's the best time to pick these things up. Are you willing to skip work? Are you willing to just break off of work to go and get it? And depending on where you're at, it's just very difficult to figure out when to get this without one, either waiting in line, or two, I guess just missing out and then having to pay god awful prices. I've been told, I think a lot of folks that picked it up initially, it could have been over Best Buy, it could have been over a bunch of different places, and you'd be able to pick it up at $110 MSRP, I think, with some tax. I don't know exactly how much that's going to be, but it's on average 120, 125, I think, after tax. So I bit the bullet. I won't lie. I bought this thing at freaking $150. That's tax included in New Mexico, where I'm based out of. So that's going to be the first part of the stream. And we're going to see some really cool things. The second part of the stream is a good friend of mine picked up an Encyclopedia of Magic. And we're going to open that up. I think this is the one that I decided to open up. I picked up two from him. And I want to make sure I do that because I owe him a box opening, so I'm gonna do that secondly. And the next part of the stream will be the third part. Is I'm gonna do a quick deck tech on Mairsil the Pretender. Let me check out the comments really quick and see what else is out there. Yeah, taking leave to stand in line for the latest MTG drops. Yeah, that's like level freaking 10 dedication. It's not something I'm willing to do. But goddamn, if the time these things are available and you're just gonna miss out and have to pay 50, 40, 80 extra dollars, it's insane. What else? Yep, lots of things going on. Local product, yeah, all those folks that are off the grid, not exactly able to get bundles like this very quickly, like the folks in Germany. I know a bunch of the guys that are in Korea that I played with. They've picked up a couple of boxes, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they picked them up at 160 USD, maybe a little bit lower than that. So I think it varies, but eBay and a few other places, you could pick up the Chocobo Bundle box for anywhere between, I would say, after taxes, about $170 to $200 or so. Okay, so I'm going to move this other stuff out of the way. I have perfect fit sleeves to the side, so we're going to be able to unbox the Chocobo Bundle and then put put those cards where they belong in perfect fits. Okay. So I think I'm doing this right, but I have a Stanley utility knife to get this thing wide open. Or maybe I'll just use this thing. Game Edition FF7 Precon. Oh my god. I don't know about those precons. I got my precons already for the FF7 stuff. And I feel like I don't need to buy it again. Okay, so we took out the box. It's a pretty shiny box. Let's see what's in there. I think there was some discussion as to people missing out on the promo. I don't think that's part of the inside. I think it's inside the box instead, so I'm going to go and chuck that. The box itself is pretty cool, very flashy. Chocobo Bundle. I forgot. I should have done a little more research on the Chocobo Bundle. But you get some cool stuff, apparently. You got the life counter, which has a Chocobo on the side of it, yellow and green. That's cool. And then we have the rest of the knick-knack sticker things. I'm just going to chuck that as well. It's not really useful to me. Maybe I'll hold on to it. I don't know. But I think everyone can see what I'm opening. We have the Chocobo Booster. I think I'm going to open that up at the end. And I guess these are the cool promos that are part of it. We'll save those for last. Let's open the Play Boosters. Because I might finally get a VV. Goddamn. It seems to elude me. Yeah. Check in the chat, see if I'm missing anything cool or important. Or want to make sure I engage with everyone. Put that to the side. Let's open the boosters. And so, okay, how many boosters comes in this Chocobo Bundle? I mean, if you're willing to spend $150 or above, I guess you have to figure out if this is something really worth it. And then if you wanted to decide to sell the singles, of course, that's always an option. So first pack, how many boosters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 play boosters, promo packages, and then the Chocobo booster at the end. So definitely do that at the end. First pack of the 10. I don't know. I kind of suck at opening packs. Usually I'm a singles buyer, but I have to open packs every now and then. And I don't quite know how to do this very well, so I'm just going to kind of flip through these and then just go straight to the rare. Okay, Clive's Hideaway. Oh, Gold Saucer is cool, but it's an uncommon. So the rare looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, then the rare. Nothing really cool, I guess, on that one. Okay, so put that away. The rare for that is Clive's Hideaway. Let's move on. In all honesty, I hope they make Commander Bundles more regularly. I was a huge fan of them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I suck. You guys are going to have to excuse me for trying. I guess 1, 2, 3, then the rare. Or 4, I don't know. Okay. Alright, so not the rare, not the rare, not the rare. Not anything cool so far. I mean, I love the Final Fantasy Magic set. It's just, you know, where do you go? And how much money are you willing to spend before it's too much? I like stuff sealed, and if I'm building decks, I'm just going to build decks and buy singles, right? Okay, so the rare is the Summon GF Cerberus, the 3-headed Hellhound. Okay, and we have a foil here. I like to separate out the foils too. That's cool. Everything else is just gonna be put to the side, and the I don't care pile. I guess maybe that's what it is. These are the care piles, the ones I actually care about. So I think it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the rare, if I'm not mistaken. Anima, that's cool. Okay, sure. And you know, something that I also generally do is I don't like to keep commons because it starts stacking up on all the cards that I have. So a lot of the uncommons I just eventually just set aside and put in a box. I'm sure there's good cards in the uncommon pile. Namazu Trader, okay, foil, and then we have a Tella Great Sage. So as far as the rares are concerned, the 3-packs and the play boosters are kind of shite. I won't lie, they're kind of shite, but you know, maybe the bottom booster is gonna get me there. Can everyone hear me just fine? I'm not sure if people are able to hear me. Just want to do a quick audio check. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it over. Oh, that's cool. Summon Knights of the Round. I was actually wanting to buy this card, but I would have preferred it to be in foil. I think that's about $12 or so. I'm not exactly sure. And put these away. Oh yeah, the popper pieces. Right on, right on. Okay, Knights of the Round is a pretty cool hit so far. And we have... I forget what these things are called. But the special Final Fantasy History series, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. Laboratory Maniac, and then we have a foil Primal Garuda. So interesting, the word Garuda, I think it stems from the Southeast Asian area when I was in Indonesia for one of my jobs in the army. There's this really cool monument, and you know, if you're stationed in Indo-PACOM, you probably heard of this thing called Operation Garuda Shield. It's this mythical being that is recognized in the religion down there. Yeah, nice little tidbit of information. Not sure if anyone cared, but sure. All right, moving forward. Let's keep going. Knights of the Round. Hell yeah, Tom Bombadil. So another interesting interaction I saw with a friend of mine that was on the CFP, the Commander 4-man panel. She built a deck. It's a Mardu deck, and I think it was an Alicia who smiles at death, and she threw in summon Knights of the Round. And I was like, that is fucking awesome. So, if you haven't thought about ways to cheat out Knights of the Round, I'd suggest you check that out. Alina, who smiles at death, it's a Mardu deck. You can, I think you pay hybrid mana, white-black, or whatever, whenever she attacks. Then you get to basically put a creature card with, I think it's power 3 or less onto the battlefield. So if you know Knights of the Round, it has a power of 3, so instead of paying 8, you just pay 2 once you do your attack trigger. Anyway, oh hey, thanks for the subscription, Sean1776. Appreciate that. All right, let's flip this over. We have an Aerith Gainsborough. Okay, I suck because I think maybe this is the extra rare. I don't know, but I think if I'm supposed to flip 4, then I would be able to show the rare at the end. But that's the rare. And if I'm passing any uncommons that are just freaking awesome, just let me know. Because generally speaking, if I'm just trying to get to that one card at the end, it's going to be the rare. Sean1776, thanks for that. Oh yeah, Terra from the precons. I think it's kind of like Alina or God damn it, I already forgot the name of the commander. Alicia, who smiles at death. I think they're very similar. So interchangeably, you could decide to build a Terra deck and it'll do something very similar. Okay, Turn that around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Garland, the final days. Cargo ship. There's some really freaking cool cards in FF. I won't lie. I want to be able to play them all, but such is life. Summon Anima, and then Raubon, Bowl of Alamigo. Okay, sure. Yeah, Alicia, Who Smiles at Death, I think is the name of the card. Okay. I'm trying to also monitor Twitch to see if the view I'm showing is visible. I guess it is. No one's commented that it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Fenrir. Summon Fenrir. Honestly, when I first saw Fenrir being played in Final Fantasy III, I didn't really see the utility in it. Besides, I think he makes your creatures invisible or something. Why am I doing that? That's for foils. I guess as we're passing the commons and uncommons, does anyone have an idea what they believe is the best uncommon in FF, and then the best common in FF in the set that came out? Just shout that out or put it in the comments. Cactuar foil and a Tifa Lockhart. Okay, I'm probably thinking the Tifa Lockhart is at least somewhat valuable, so I'm gonna put that in the perfect fit. And I guess while we're at it, just for the hell of it, we'll put Knights of the Round. I think that's perfect fit worthy. Okay, so some decent hits so far in the play boosters. And you can get mad at having another version of Lab Maniac in a different art. So I'll just throw that in there for now. And I don't know, someone do a quick value check on a foil Cactuar. I don't think it's really worth anything, but anyway, that's there. Okay, we are down to the last 3 packs. Let's check that out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. There's a friend of mine down or over there in South Korea, and goddamn, this dude has some crazy, amazing luck. So I'm gonna call him out because every time it's one of those things where Bug95 for the foil Cactuar. Thanks for that. But a friend of mine over there in South Korea, he has some amazing luck pulling packs, and I like, no shit. Every time he puts something out there or posts in the group, everyone gets jealous. So I don't think I have that, but maybe today I'll change the narrative a little bit. Okay. I don't know. Should I be playing some Final Fantasy music in the background? Seems kind of quiet. Maybe I'll put that on low. Let me do that really quick. Just kind of have that hanging out in the background. Let it play. And hopefully it doesn't drown me. Put it at 9%. Okay. Alright, I should be at the highest volume that Twitch allows, and I lower the volume on the music. Okay, we are getting close to the rare. You know, it's a really cool card. Actually, is the cards that I think it's called Black Waltz number 3 or something like that, or the Black Mages, where they create these black wizards. I'm thinking about maybe making a deck with cards that do this, because every time you play a non-creature spell, it'll deal 1 damage to each opponent. So a really cool spell slinger deck. Okay, moving on. We have Memories Returning.
Papa?
Yeah, what's up?
Is this,
Yeah, Papa streaming.
No, is this like, finest?
Yeah, Final Fantasy. Papa's doing a box opening right now.
Okay.
You can watch upstairs. I think it's on upstairs.
Yeah, I know.
Go watch.
I'm trying to, watch.
Okay, yeah, go watch over there. And of course, you know, the folks in the military, we got busy jobs. You know, it's hard to figure out like when to do certain things. We can't just up and go and go pick up a freaking box, because by the time we actually have the opportunity to go get it, it's gone, right? Then of course we always have you know, the family to care about and do things with, so you got to manage your time. Phoenix Down, awesome. I love this card. Just the flavor of it all. Exile target, skeleton, spirit, or zombie. If you played FF3/6, whatever, you know, version of it, Japanese or English, you know, you could use a Phoenix Down to kill the Phantom Train as you're starting the game. Summon Chocomog. Give me like a really cool freaking foil, man. Okay, so far not so good. Last play booster, let's hit it. I think, I mean, the goal is to get a freaking sweet ass rare. If it's not in the play boosters, that's fine, but it's got to be in the rest of the other packs that the Chocobo Bundle comes with. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move those over. The Fire Crystal, okay. That means there's an extra rare in there. Sleep Magic. Man, they really did a good job with Final Fantasy. Memories of Nibelheim, Stroke of Midnight. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. So at least, if nothing else, the play boosters, it's a prep towards the end of the stream where I'm gonna highlight the altar, because we have some Tifa, you know, type cards that we could really highlight. And I guess for now, I'll just throw this in there. Why not? Okay. And I think the Fire Crystal is probably up there as well. Throw that in. I think everyone else is, every other card is probably some version of chaff/bulk. Oh, not that one. I mean the Fire Crystal. Okay, that's that. We'll put those away. I think what everyone's really waiting for are the very cool packs that come with the bundles. So this is going to be saved to the end. Let's open these other ones. Yeah, guess we'll have at it. I think the bonus card plus, there's supposed to be lands in these packs, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see what we get. So that's a bonus card. Everything else is a land. Okay, flash photography. Oh, okay, sure. And this looks like a foil Paradise Chocobo. Let's see what we get in this thing. I think it's that. And then everything else is a land. So the Paradise Chocobo is, if it's foil, I mean, that's got to be a pretty penny. And with the foil lands that you get out of this, they're cool. Then you have the regular non-foil lands in the other pack with the other bonus card, and those were non-foil. But I think the Paradise Chocobo, if I'm not mistaken, is up there. I'm going to sleeve both of them just in case. Someone can do a price check for me, or, you know, I'll just do it later. I don't care. But that's going in the sleeve. Paradise Chocobo's going in a sleeve. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of the box openings I've seen on other channels. But do I need to have the same amount of enthusiasm for some of these box breaks? Because I see some of these ones where it's like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have that reaction if I pull a Snapcaster Mage. Okay, so that's that. Put these away. And we have the Chocobo Booster. The Chocobo Booster. What's in this thing? Come on, I need the pulls. The pulls have to make this whole freaking stream worth it. And I am fucking this thing up royally. Probably messed that up. Okay. I guess this is the Chocobo track stuff. So you get a cool card with Chocobo tracks on it. And, okay, yeah, definitely a whiff. A Realm Reborn and an Estian Varlino. Realm Reborn is cool, and the Chocobo Tracklands are very cool. Let's see kind of what's happening here. I should have asked my daughter to help me open or decide which box to pull, because usually if she does a selection, she does a really good job with it. But I think it's a whiff. The lands are cool, probably not that cool enough to fetch a high number if you're trying to sell it. You know, the Chocobo tracks. Yeah, sure. Realm Reborn, actually, I think that's a really cool card. Because you could tap all other permanents for mana. So your enchantments, your planeswalkers, everything that you use. Let's say you play a non-artifact deck and you just want to use your other permanents to tap for mana, you can use a Realm Reborn. I think that's a great card. I picked that up immediately for my enchantment-based deck. I thought that was awesome. And then this card, I'm not sure really what it is. Okay, let's read it. Estian Varlino. I don't know what Final Fantasy this one is. It might be like 15 or something. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains flying until on a turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of opponents who are dealt combat damage by Estian Varlino or a dragon this turn. I guess the important part of that is dragon. Yeah, good call. Tactics. You can play artifacts, also especially ones that don't care if they tap or enchant. Yep, good call. So that's that. That was the box opening. I hope that was exciting. It wasn't as exciting for me. It's okay. Maybe we can redeem ourselves a little bit by opening the Encyclopedia of Magic. So I'm just going to go straight into it. We're not going to take any sort of break or intermission. Set that aside right there. And move on. Okay, so my good buddy John sent me the Encyclopedia of Magic. If he is watching, cool. If not, that's fine. I did tell him that I was going to stream it today. I'm going to do that. So let me set aside the box, the Chocobo Bundle. Again, it's really cool. I'm going to use this for storage. You can fit about 3 commander decks in each storage box. And yeah, let's do that. Okay. So if you've seen the Encyclopedia of Magic, this is like 2 weeks late. I don't remember exactly when this hit, but a friend of mine ended up picking it up for me. He sold it to me at cost. I was extremely grateful. And now I have it in my hands. It came in yesterday. So I'd like to just show that on the stream, see what we get. I mean, I think the best card to hit is probably going to be an Urza's Saga, the land enchantment. So open that up. Oh, he's a Dragoon. I wondered then, is that from FF2? Okay, so I guess really quick, Encyclopedia of Magic. If you missed it, it was a secret lair, and this card is cool as, or this box is cool as shit. I was like, okay, I need to go and get them, but unfortunately, as things are, it happens at a very inconvenient time, and if you work in a job or a space where you don't have the immediate access to a computer, you're going to lose out. And that's why my friend had to send it to me, because I personally could not pick it up myself. What does this thing come with? There's a dice in here. And, oh yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is a dice. It's not a 20-sided dice. Instead, it is a 26-sided dice because it has all the letters of the alphabet A through Z. So I guess that's pretty cool. You could randomize whatever it is you want and still play it, but I did not realize you can make a dice out of 26 sides. That's really cool. Okay, so this container box is going to go in the trash. Let's get into the secret lair, Encyclopedia of Magic. So out the gate, the packaging, I think, is freaking cool as shit. Interesting with this is when my friend helped me procure this, it came in the mail for him, and there was some water damage on the outside of the box. But you know, when he opened it, it seemed like the inside parts of the box, the cards included, were not damaged. And so I don't think there's any sort of water damage. It doesn't appear to be that way. But you know, we'll go for it. So inside that, you just open this up, and there's some very cool cards, A through Z. The entire history of Magic. I think WotC decided that they were going to reprint certain cards that had to be printed, you know, to depict the first letter of each card, starting with that letter of the alphabet. So I forgot which ones are, but we'll just open them up. The key thing I think here for the opening of these cards is knowing, or as soon as you get whatever it is you get, you want to highlight those surge foil looking ones, which depending on the print could net you several $100s, right? So for A, we have Altar of the Brood. Also, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, it varies whether or not you get a non-foil or foil, right? Or even a surge foil. So you get any one of those three different types of prints. The first one, Altar of the Brood, was a regular foil. That's cool. B. What is B? Okay, Brain Freeze. That's cool. And you know, when I saw these cards that were being put out, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, different art. You can't really complain too much. There's some cards in here though that are kind of funky looking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm buying one of these boxes to open. However, I did decide to get a second box, so I'm gonna keep that one sealed. So let's check out the reveal for C. It's a crop rotation, non-foil. That's fine. I'm just gonna separate out foils, non-foils, and any search foils that happen to be part of this box. Crop rotation. I think the art's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Crop rotation you can pretty much put in any green deck, and there's absolute value in it. I mean, that's I think that's one of the reasons why it was originally added as a, I think on the second wave I applied as a crop rotation was added as a game changer. I forgot if it is currently still a game changer though. All right, moving to D. We have Demonic Consultation. Non-foil. Let's go to A, B, C, D. Okay, now E. Yep. E, I think, is Eerie Ultimatum. And it is also a non-foil. Eerie Ultimatum is such a good card, though. Can't go wrong in a Abzan deck. F is Field of the Dead. That would have been really cool if it was a search foil, I won't lie. But I don't know if y'all noticed, but it seems like the Encyclopedia of Magic, the cards that are in it, about, I could count maybe 5 of them that are good for, or really great for a Lord Windgrace deck. I saw that immediately as I was looking through all of them, but it seemed like that was the thing. Wasteland has the Lord Windgrace on there. And we'll see that later, of course, but it seemed fairly natural that a lot of the cards were part of the Lord Windgrace style deck. G, we have a Grey Merchant of Asphodel, otherwise known as Gary. Gary's cool. H, we have a Hymn to Turok in foil. Man, Hymn to Turoks, man, back in the day were awesome. So, you know, back when I was playing Kitchen Table, Hymn to Turok, you'd end up playing things like Dark Rituals, Hypnotic Specters, Sinkholes, and then Hymn to Turok obviously came around, and that just added to all the discard flavor. Great card, and I think even at a time back in 2016, Hymn to Turoks were used very widely in Jund decks for Legacy. So I would say 2014 to 2016, I definitely saw those cards getting flung out at Legacy tournaments. So we have we have Isochron Scepter, that's cool. What we want is we want to get to Urza Saga, and then we want it to be a Surge foil. Okay, J is Junji the Midnight Sky. So, going back to the Chocobo Bundle, it probably wasn't worth it because I had pretty sad pulls. But, you know, that's more of a reason to decide, okay, if it's something you really want to buy, maybe not. But if you were wanting to keep it sealed to increase value over time, I suppose you could do that. Because I do have a second Chocobo Bundle box. This is K, and we have Clark Clan Ironworks. Pretty awesome card. K, now we move on to L. Llanowar Elves, okay. I don't know if I should get my hopes up, but there's a lot of non-foils and an absolutely zero number of Surge foils so far. Mairsil, Shield of Argiv. So I actually really like this card. I'm glad it's in foil because I think the art is amazing, and I threw this in my Queen All-in-All deck, which is token based. The bonus is Mairsil creates soldiers, and in the Queen All-in-All deck, you have a bunch of soldiers that are being created. And then this gives you an X number of soldiers that when she attacks, you'll get X number of soldiers for each. The X is the number of soldiers you control. Anyway, sorry I messed that up a little bit, but really glad that's foil. That's cool. And we have Narset's Reversal. And that's pretty cool. You know, there was an altar that we did that had an effect like this, like one of those 52 card playing card decks. But I'm really happy to see variants of art that have this type of style. I think that's awesome. Next one, we have an O. And O, what is O going to be? An Omnixilis the Fallen in foil. That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, already so far, there's a lot of great cards for Lord Windgrace, Omnixilis, Crop Rotation. I mean, right out the gate, those are two cards that I could name for a Lord Windgrace deck. But I'm glad that's also in foil. That's amazing. Come on, Surge Foils. Are we waiting for that Urza Saga or something else? I don't know. Phyrexian Altar. Great card, of course, for P. And you could even throw that in a Lord Windgrace deck, too. I mean, there's a lot of ways to create mana, but I don't put it in there because I run Collector Yuffie, or Yuf. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So I can't quite activate a lot of artifacts in that deck. PQ. Yeah, I know my friend in Korea who has the best pulls. He's probably laughing right now. Because, you know, if you got a Chocobo box, you probably pulled a Snapcaster Mage. Bastard. Questing Beast, okay. Retrofitter Foundry in foil. That's cool. I remember this card when it first came out. And Retrofitter Foundry, it was only printed in a commander deck. And then what happened was it was playable in Legacy or Vintage. I forget exactly what. I think it had something to do with the Yuriko. There's a Yuriko version of a Legacy deck. But this card ended up being like $70 at that time. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But that's that card. I think it's cool. I'm not sure what I'd really use it for. Artifact based deck, of course, would make sense. Questing Beast resembles a giraffe. It's got the head of a lion, the skin of a leopard, the haunches of a lion, or head of a deer. According to Swifty Caesar in the chat, it's got the head of a deer, the neck of a snake, the haunches of a lion, the skin of a leopard, and the feet of a horse. Oh, right on. Guess it didn't quite do all of that. Maybe it did some of it, but not seeing the head of a deer. Mostly lion-looking things. S. Soul Ring. God damn it! If anything, it would have been cool to get a Surge Foil Soul Ring, because obviously that is the primary format that I play, and it would have been sweet. Boo, Watsy, boo. A slap in the face, that's what it is. What did we say this one was? This was, I guess, T? Temple of the False God. Okay. Alright, the moment we've been waiting for, you. Let's get that Surge Foil, boys and girls. Let's get it. It's gonna be absolute horseshit if it isn't. Because right now, 0 Surge Foils. 0 Surge Foils. Okay, here we go. Ah, it's a regular non-foil Urza Saga. Another slap in the face. Son of a bitch. Okay, if anything of the foils at the top row, if anything, it was the Mairsil Shield of Argive, whatever. That was the best looking thing so far. V. I don't even know what V is. Vesuva, I think. Yep, Vesuva, and it is a non-foil. All these people, man, with their box openings, they pull like a Surge Foil, Urza Saga. Like, how the hell does that not happen to me every now and then? God damn it. W, Wasteland, here we go. It looks like it's a foil. Whether or not it's a Surge Foil, I guess we'll find out. It is a regular foil. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. X, I forgot what the X was. Yeah, $40 for the Saga. It's cool. Basically regular price for a normal one anyway. So TUV, W for Wasteland, X, I forgot X, it might be Xyrus. Oh, Xantia, Sleeper Agent. Okay, non-foil. We are coming up on Y and Z. So what are we gonna get? What's Y? Forgot what Y is. A foil Surge Foil's Phyrexian Altar would have also been really cool. Yarrick the Desecrated. Okay. Yarrick the Desecrated. And Z. Probably a god-awful card. There's not a lot of really great cards that are Z. Then they might give me a Surge Foil, maybe. Zozu the Punisher. It's a foil. That's fine, but no Surge Foils. And if we're already tracking, this must be like a cool book. What the hell you call that? You save your place on the book. Anyway, this is part of that. Now, of course, is the Alhamrit's Archive. Everyone is tracking that is automatically the one card that is the bonus card in the encyclopedia. No question about it. That's what it is. It's foil. That's cool. It's fine. So, again, I think what I mentioned earlier were cards that are great in a Lord Windgrace deck. I just want to call those out really quick. 1, 2. Obviously, Sol Ring is great. Urza Saga is great. Vesuva is great also. We have Crop Rotation. So I think for me at least, the highlights in this box are the ones I'm putting down here because I'm probably going to throw it in the Lord Windgrace deck right after this. Wasteland, Obnixilis, The Fallen, Sol Ring, Urza Saga, Vesuva, and Crop Rotation. So great cards for a Lord Windgrace deck. And then, of course, I think probably the best card in the entire box, because it's foil and I like it, is the Mairsil. And then the honorable mentions are, of course, the Phyrexian Altar separately. And, oh, yeah, I forgot. Fill of the Dead definitely goes in Lord Windgrace. So, great cards. Probably worth it for what it was bought at cost, which was $200. If you're able to get the double encyclopedia option, it would have been $150 each. Yeah, Bookmark, thanks for that. Okay, so that's that. We're going to throw those back in the very cool looking encyclopedia. And I'm going to throw some cards in the Lord Windgrace deck and then consider putting these other cards in other decks. But that's that. I think that was really cool. And a huge shout out to my buddy John for hooking me up. I didn't have to pay god-awful eBay prices to get there. So, yep, bookmark, dice. I think close that up, get this little strap on, and be done with that. So that was the box opening portion of the stream. I'm going to take a very quick intermission and see if anyone's interested. I am going to do a deck tech discussion on one of my favorite decks, and which has some alters in it, and then also highlight an alter that was recently done and we quickly sold. Final Fantasy related, you'll get to see it, Tifa Lockhart on a Rolly Tutor. So with that, I will put us on intermission and see you all in the next 5-10 minutes. All right. I think my audio check was crap just now, but anyway, I decided the second part of the stream today is going to talk about the deck that I have with Mairsil the Pretender. Pretty awesome deck. And there's some really cool interactions. There's a few others that are basically must-haves. And then in addition, there are 3 altars in there that are done by my sister-in-law Kamiko, so I want to highlight them. But Mairsil the Pretender, it's a commander that came out. I think it was Commander 20. Might be Commander 2017. I don't remember, or 2016. One of those. And how it works is you play Mairsil. It's a Grixis commander. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile an artifact or creature card from your hand or graveyard and put a cage counter on it. Mairsil the Pretender has all activated abilities of all cards you own in exile with cage counters on them, and you can activate those activated abilities only once each turn. So, really cool deck. I'm going to put the deck list in the chat so everyone get a chance to look at it. But what I do want to do is show the full deck live on the stream, just kind of thumbing through those cards. But the goal is to win through some very cool activations, and some of them are pretty much instantaneous wins against a single opponent. So let's go ahead and talk about that from the live view. Okay, so this is Mairsil the Pretender. Let's start off with how it's shown on Moxfield. Also, Moxfield, by the way, if you don't use Moxfield, that's cool. But if you do, you should know there's some really great things about using that interface or server. You could see all the cards very quickly. And you could check to see also as you categorize and filter throughout all your decks, you could see multiple versions or multiple copies of where your cards are across all decks. And I think in general, it's just a really great deck building site. So kudos to them for doing that. I know I was asked on occasion to help provide them some pictures of tokens. When I was in Japan, I was able to send some of the mods of Moxfield very easily discernible scans of cards, but I think it's a great system, great website. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Planeswalkers. So in Mairsil, what you want to do is you want to discard cards. So if you're doing things like looting, like Teferi Master of Time, you're doing it on each person's turn. That's a benefit to you, not only on your draw, but also on your discard. So the great thing about Mairsil is that when the ATBs, it'll hit cards either in your hand or in your graveyard. So Teferi Master of Time is great. Dak Faden for similar reasons. And here we are. We're going to talk about 3 altars that were done by my sister-in-law. Interesting thing about these 3 altars was when we were first doing altars. I think this is back in 2016, and we started getting really good at it. My wife was no longer the only artist doing altars, but we also added her sister to be part of the team. So these are 3 altars that she did, but she didn't do them for me. These are actually altars that were commissioned by clients. And the client was a real great fan of anime, and he just he went to town on a lot of these. And this is right around when we were doing altars at a relatively cheaper price. But yeah, I don't remember how many we did. We did like maybe, I think about 30 plus altars for his Mairsil deck. So I decided, hey, he decided first to sell the deck. I told him, hey, don't don't sell the deck outright. If you can sell singles, that's great. I'd be willing to purchase a few of them. So these are them. Anyway, Aetherling. If you know anything about Aetherling, Aetherling is pretty much the superstar in the deck. Aetherling allows you to exile the card or exile not only Aetherling but Mairsil essentially once it has a cage counter on it. So you can flicker it, comes back, and then you can have that ETB trigger of Mairsil, which is great. Aetherling, this is, I think, a Dr. Stone reference. If you all watch that, I think it's a really cool idea. The next card, I think, is also a superstar in the deck, is this card called Anger. Very likely you're going to have a mountain in play, and very likely because you want this in your graveyard, you want to have activations done by Mairsil pretty much at instant speed, whether it's your turn or someone else's turn. So if anyone is very familiar with the art on this, it's I think it's Meliodas from the Seven Deadly Sins. So I just wanted to highlight that. Great card, great altar, and yeah, I think that's the way to go there. Then we have Torchling, not really a superstar so much, but this card allows you to untap it, which is great with Mairsil because you can activate a second activated ability or third, just depends on what you want to do. So that's great. The reference is from the Seven Deadly Sins. Wait, no. That's not Seven Deadly Sins. Which one is that? Oh, I'm losing out on my anime flavor here. Fuck, what is it? Anyway, someone help me figure that out and put it in the chat. Great cards, great altars. Now let's talk about the rest of the deck. Spike Shot Elder, awesome card. Yeah, what's up?
Can you hear the dog?
Yeah, I can hear the dog.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing. I'm just asking if you can. The dog started to interrupt.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Actually, before I talk about Spike Shot Elder, what I need to do is talk about Tree of Perdition. So this is an all-star card. So yeah, Fairy Tale. Thanks for that, Incan Park Bomb. Or Lincoln Park Bomb. I think that's what that is. What your name is, sorry. Tree of Perdition, great card. So with Mairsil, if it has a cage counter on it, when you tap Mairsil for its activation, it doesn't use Tree of Perdition's toughness. It uses Mairsil's toughness. So immediately upon activation of this, your opponent will have a life total of 4, not 13. So great card in the deck. It's a must-have. And then complements, I think, in the same turn if you could get it, where you can deal damage with Spike Shot Elder's activation equal to its power to the target creature or player. So the point of this is if you had these cards with cage counters on them, you activate Tree of Perdition, you could then deal 4 damage to your opponent, and then it'll kill your opponent immediately. Now, the other great thing about it is if you don't have Spike Shot Elder with a cage counter on it, you still have Aetherling deal a final blow. So Tree of Perdition brings the person's life total down to 4. You untap it with some other type of card that allows you to untap, and then with the Aetherling, you pay, I think, a color sort of blue, and then you can make it unblockable, so you just swing in for lethal combat damage. So that's great. Necrotic Ooze, just for redundancy on activations, and if Mairsil continues to get countered, you want to be able to play those cards. Emery is a great card for mill. For the cards that you need in your graveyard, and then if you have an artifact that you don't want to put a cage counter on, you can just cast it for that. So either the activation or in play is great. Minion of Leshrac. This there's another card that is sort of like that. I just want to call out both of them right now. But Minion of Leshrac and Infernal Denizen, they're both cards from Ice Age. Great cards for destroying creatures or lands or stealing creatures. Osmodeus, great card. It's your version of, I would say, Necropotence on a stick. But the benefit of putting a cage counter on this is you tap 3 black to draw 7 cards, but you don't really need the 1 black to do its second ability. The other thing that's great while putting this with the cage counter on it is that you don't need to have binding contract essentially limit what you're trying to do with the card in terms of those cards being drawn, and then if they're being exiled or you'd have to return it, you don't have to do it because Mairsil just allows you to draw those cards. Next, click primarily for the untap portion of it. Via Shino Heretic. Honestly, I like to just keep this in place so I can continue to destroy artifacts, but if you put a cage counter on Heretic, then you can just use Mairsil to do that and then just blow things up. A friend of mine in the army said this is one of his favorite arts ever in Magic. But I think in general the card is great because of what it does. There's lots of really big artifacts out there, and if you can destroy them and then deal damage to an opponent at the same time, that's doubly effective. Eater of the Dead for your untapped shenanigans, but of course with Mairsil you can only do it once per turn. Just do that as you need to untap Mairsil, and then you can have another activation, untap it again, so that you could play or remove a creature card from the game in another person's graveyard. Morphling is fine. It's not exactly that great, but if anything, you could get in for lethal combat damage with the flying ability, and then your untapped ability, of course, is just a bonus to be able to continue to activate for more activations. So that's great. That's a deep dwelling. This allows you to do a number of things. You can flicker your Mairsil of it if it's in play, but then you can also pay 3 colors and a blue to tap another target creature. I think it's a solid card to have in play as opposed to the graveyard, but if it happens to be in the graveyard, then you can just put a cage counter on it. Okay, Memnarch. The thing about Memnarch is back in the old days of original Commander, I would say 2013, 2014 timeframe, Memnarch was probably the best blue commander you could ever have, but it induced a lot of salt. So the thing with Memnarch is if you get your infinite mana, infinite blue mana, you can do this a million times and basically just gain control of everyone's stuff. This is primarily to steal artifacts in my mind, at least for this deck. So I try to make it fun. I don't want to steal everyone's stuff, but also I don't really go infinite in mana in the deck. But this is a way to help stop bad things from happening on your opponent's side. Pestilent Soul Eater. So the cool thing about this card is you can activate for a Phyrexian mana to make it gain Infect. So if you have a way to kill your opponent in another way. What's up, Gio?
Can I let Jet out just for him to lay down on me?
Yeah, go ahead, but you have to watch him. You have to watch him, okay?
Yeah, just for him to stay calm.
Okay, go.
2.
Yeah. Okay, last. I think I wanted to mention this. So this is an alternate way of winning, gaining Infect, dealing damage. If you could do that, get to 10. You don't have to worry about winning through the Tree of Perdition combo. Tree of Perdition is obviously really good, but you have to have some other ways to win. If you're not playing, or if you don't have Tree of Perdition with a cage counter on it. Blighted Bat for haste. Cavern Harpy for evasion. Pay 1 life to return Cavern Harpy to its owner's hand. So if Mairsil is being targeted, you can just pay a life to return it to its your hand. One thing I'll also remember about Aetherling is because when you do the flicker effect, you do that one of 2 reasons. One, if you want to get another ability, once it enters the battlefield, but also you could do it for evasion. Card draw in Arcanist Omnipotent, draw 3 cards, and you can also do some evasion, but hardly likely to have 4 mana open as much. Treasonous Ogre, a great card for mana. I usually would prefer to play this and put it on the battlefield instead of the graveyard, because again, Mairsil only is allowing you to use an ability once per turn. Shaku Endbringer, another way to kill off creatures, and you're also not limited by her static ability, which prevents you from attacking if there's another creature in play. And you don't have to lose 3 life during upkeep. The only thing that matters is that you can remove a counter, or remove a creature from the game, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on Mairsil. Jace's Archivist for a great draw. Kozilek the Great Distortion, awesome card. You play it for your counter magic possibilities, which also, if you discard the card that you're trying to counter with, then you get a bonus if it was a creature or an artifact placed in the graveyard. Quicksilver Elemental, real quick. I bought this card in foil before VV obviously came out. I bought this a long time ago, probably about 6 years ago or so. But now it's skyrocketed in price because of VV, which means I'm curious if I should put VV in the deck just for extra mana. I don't think I really need to. But Quicksilver Elemental in play is great. In the graveyard, not so great. Then let's go through some of the instants and sorceries in the deck. And what they do. Gifts Ungiven, recently unbanned from the Commander ban list. Now it's a search engine to put cards either in your hand or in the graveyard. So the bonus, again, of course, is Mairsil when he enters, or she enters. I'm not sure the gender, sorry. But Mairsil, when it enters, you can have those cards that you put into your hand through Gifts Ungiven, and the cards you put in the graveyard, either one of the 4. You can just put a cage counter on that. So that's cool. Intuition's very similar. Stubborn Denial, I think, is great because your Mairsil has a power of 4. So even though you don't have a lot of creatures that would be in play because they would have cage counters on it, you'll immediately benefit from Mairsil's power by playing this card. Evacuation for removal, Prismari Command for your removal, and also card draw, and then discarding as well. I think that's great for the deck. Entomb naturally is one of the really great cards to put in, so you could put the right card in your graveyard at the right time. Usually I choose Tree of Perdition or Aetherling or Anger. Lightning Axe for removal. Whoa, what's going on, Hutch? Thanks for joining. Just doing a little bit of here and there, for the stream. You missed out, I think, on the box openings, but I'm just doing a deck tech on Mairsil right now. Culligan's Command, removal, also discard, also some recursion. Mana Drain, for obvious good reasons, to be able to get more mana. Essence Flux for flickering. Cyclonic Rift. Murderous Cut for all the other cards that you don't put cage counters on. You can delve. Red Elemental Blast, Chaos Warp, and Frantic Search for your draw. Yeah, I'm right now in the middle of the deck tech. I just went through the creatures, did some highlights on altars. I just finished up with the instants. I'm going to go through the sorceries now. Okay, so sorceries. I want to highlight this card because it's a relatively new card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I thought it was great because it's just 3 mana, draw 3 cards, discard 2, unless you discard a creature card. Likely, you're going to discard a creature card that you want in the graveyard. And the bonus is when you want to do this again, you just harmonize for 1 blue because your Mairsil has a power of 4, so it's reduced by tapping the creature to reduce the cost by 4, so you can pay it for 1 blue. Then you can always untap it later, to do other activations. Buried Alive is an all-star in the deck, so I usually when I use Buried Alive, I put in Aetherling, Tree of Perdition, Spike Shot, Elder. Those are my 3 targets usually. Now, if I already have Aetherling with a cage counter on it, I usually go Tree of Perdition, Spike Shot, Elder, and I think I go with Anger. Yeah. So those are a must when you're targeting with Buried Alive. Sickening Dreams. I want to talk about this for a minute because some people think it's garbage. I don't think so. Really when I look at this card is I want to have a relatively high number of cards in my hand, probably 7 or so. And if I want those cards in my graveyard, I'm going to discard maybe 4 to 6 just to deal damage to pesky creatures and then maybe try to finish off a player that is at 4 life or 6 life or something. So that's great. Faithful Suiting goes without saying. Card draw and discard. Windfall, similar ability, and then gamble to get the right card in your hand or the right card in the graveyard, depending. And I put Damnation in this deck. Damnation's kind of a hit or miss depending on the deck, but I just really love the art, so I wanted to throw that in there. Okay, moving on to artifacts. Okay, so talking about artifacts now. The One Ring. So the One Ring is just great automatically. Like, it's a game changer. If you put it into your graveyard and then Mairsil puts a cage counter on it, you're not going to get the benefit of its ETB effect if you cast it, obviously, so you're not going to gain protection. However, the burden counter that you put on the ring allows you to draw cards. So if Mairsil allows you to tap or untap once per turn, you can basically draw a lot of cards between turns. But then you don't have to have the triggered ability of the One Ring trigger on you during your upkeep. And you basically just draw a shit ton of cards without having to lose life during your upkeep. So if you copy it, that's phenomenal. If you don't benefit, you end up benefiting from it for the gain protection ability, but you'll lose life. So it just depends. Nevinyrral's Disc, next card I want to talk about, is pretty freaking awesome. So what you could do with Nevinyrral's Disc is if you have it with a cage counter on it, and then probably Aetherling also with a cage counter on Mairsil. Or Mairsil puts a cage counter on these 2 cards. First of all, Nevinyrral's Disc, if it has a cage counter on it, you don't have to worry about basically it being tapped or untapped. It's just going to be part of that ability. Where you can destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. There's really no creatures that you want to keep on the battlefield unless for a short number. Probably Quicksilver Elemental is one, and then I would say Necrotic Ooze is the other that you want on the battlefield typically. But if you want to kill everything else, this is a great card. What you do is you pay 1, tap it, hold priority, destroy all the artifacts, creatures, and enchantments that are in play. But as you're holding priority, before that ability resolves, you want to exile Aetherling, flicker it at end of turn. You destroy all of your stuff, or everything that's on the battlefield. And then Aetherling comes back into play at the end of the turn, and then that card's available to you. Great card. Illusionist Bracers for your activated abilities being copied. I think it's an amazing one-off, obviously, to put in the deck. Lightning Greaves for protection and evasion. Mirage Mirror, I usually put this on the battlefield. But I could have Mairsil copy, or basically use it if it has a cage counter on it, to copy other things. Panharmonicon for your ETB triggers, happening twice, so you can benefit off of it without having to do an ability where Mairsil ETBs again later. Pendant of Prosperity. So I'll talk about this because it's honestly a trash card. It is honestly a trash card. But it's great in Mairsil the Pretender. And a friend of mine mentioned this to me. I thought it was great. So you don't have to worry about the ETB of this thing. And then also when you pay 2 to draw a card, if it has a cage counter on it from Mairsil, you basically get to draw 2 cards and then put two lands onto the battlefield. And you don't have to exchange this card with an opponent because that ETB doesn't matter if it has a cage counter on it. Monument of 2 Endurance. A relatively new card from Aether Drift. I know a lot of people hate Aether Drift. I hate it. I won't lie. I hate Aether Drift for a number of things, but the primary reason is the god awful set symbol. But the one good thing out of Aether Drift is there's probably, maybe I could count on 2 hands 10 actual good cards, and Monument of Endurance is one of them. So much utility. A lot of discard effects happen in the deck, and you can benefit off of every one of these things once per turn. Well, you can do as many as 3 things, but if you have the ability to discard cards multiple times per turn, then you can get all that. 1,000-Year Elixir, kind of like your version of Anger, but as an artifact. Generally speaking, I want this on the battlefield. I don't want this in the graveyard. And then your myriad of typical mana rocks. A lot of people ask me how many mana rocks or mana sources do you want to have in the deck. In this particular deck, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's some other cards or 2 or other than the 8 that can generate you mana through treasure tokens and some other things. So there's that. And we go to the lands. I think really what the folks that are listening in on the stream are going to benefit out of this is that, you know, as you figure out how to pimp out your decks, you want to decide, how to do that. You know, is it through altars? Is it through foils? Whatever. Or if you get really cool cards that people have never seen before, you want to put them in the deck and make the deck look really cool. The Grixis cards, the Grixis colors, I mean, I'm not really going to get into that here. I threw fetch lands in there. I threw filter lands in there. I threw an Urborg. Honestly, the Urborg, I don't have a Cabal Coffers in the deck. However, it's just great mana fixing if you need your black, especially with an Asmodeus activation. Let me show that really quick. So you're limited on your 3 black to draw 7 cards. It kind of sucks if you don't have the black, but Urborg is there to give you that mana fixing you need. And of course, you know, a lot of my my viewers and my friends know that I've been collecting for a while. So obviously you're going to see cards like Volcanic Island, Underground Sea, Badlands for the colors that they're in. So that's always great. And let me see. I do want to call out some of these bounce lands. So I think as the mana fixing has been improving over the years, people forget about the bounce lands. And the benefit of having a bounce land in your deck is that it allows you to discard cards if you are at a hand size greater than your starting 7. So I discard a card, Aetherling or something, you know, similar that I want in the graveyard, so I can just put a cage counter on it later. Volrath Stronghold, pretty good card, obviously. I think it's on the reserve list. Sometimes there's cards that I don't want to have cage counters put on them, and instead I want to just take those cards and put it on top of my library. So Volrath Stronghold is key. I would probably target Quicksilver Elemental, Necrotic Ooze, a few others, I think, to put it on top of the library instead of putting a cage counter on them. Actually, Necrotic Ooze, you can't even put a cage counter on it. Let me take that back. You can put a cage counter on it, but it does nothing for you. Let me just explain a little bit of why that is. So Necrotic Ooze inherently doesn't have activated abilities on its own. So when people look at this card, they're like, okay, if I put a cage counter on this thing with Mairsil, then it will have all activated abilities of all cards in all graveyards, all creature cards in all graveyards. That doesn't work because Necrotic Ooze doesn't inherently have its own activated ability, right? So even though you put a cage counter on it, if you have cards in the graveyard, it doesn't mean you have those activated abilities that are in the graveyard. So that's one thing as far as redundancy is concerned. It just depends on how you want to play it. So if your Mairsil was killed off or countered a lot, but you played this and put it on the battlefield, you can still do Tree of Perdition type activations without needing Mairsil to do it. Okay, so we talked about Valra Stronghold. We talked about those lands. Here's another cool card I think that is worth noting, or 2 cards, 3 cards I think that are worth noting. Deck More Salvage for your Dredge 2. Of course, it's in the Grixis color pairings. Grixis color fixing is what I'm saying. Desolate Lighthouse for your looting effects, your blue-red, etc. to get that. And the last but not least, of course, one of my very cherished number of cards that I have in my collection. I do have a playset of the Bazaar of Baghdad. One of those cards in the playset is in the deck. And what it does is you can tap it. It doesn't produce any amount of mana at all, colorless or color. It just has a tap effect to draw 2 cards, and then immediately following that you have no amount of time to be able to respond to it. You can respond to the activation, but you can't respond in between after you draw the 2 cards. You must immediately draw 3 after that. So great card to have. I would say this deck is probably, I think it's well, based on the type of cards that are in the deck. Let me just see. I think it's, what does it say? What does this thing say? Let me check. What is the thing here? What bracket is it in? Mairsil. According to Moxfield. Yeah, that's another cool thing about Moxfield is you could get a chance to see where your deck is in terms of bracket. According to Moxfield, it has 6 game changers. The number of game changers include Gifts Ungiven, Intuition, Gifts Ungiven, Intuition, Cyclonic Rift. So it's 3 right out the gate. Gamble, Ancient Tomb, and the One Ring. So those are the 6 game changers. So I think right out the gate, because of these game changers, you're looking at a bracket 4 deck. Because in bracket 3, you're limited to 3. Bracket 2, you don't have any game changers. And then bracket 1 obviously doesn't have game changers. But if you haven't seen the new discussion on game changers in the last update, I recommend you go check that out. I think it was published about a month and a half ago in October. But it gives you a better idea of what is in fact still a game changer, and then there's some discussions on the brackets as well. There's some stuff that came off the game changer list. There's some stuff that came off the ban list and moved to become game changers, etc. But I don't know. Maybe in the comments you might be able to talk a little bit about Bazaar of Baghdad, whether or not that should be a game changer. I feel like some of those really cool cards, especially the ones that are on the reserve list, that have abilities like this, could be game changers, and so that varies based on people's opinion. Okay, Oh yeah, right on, Hutch. The updated brackets, I think they're really, it's a step in the right direction, but whether or not people are sold on it, I think that's definitely personal opinion. I like where it's going. I do. I think it's a step in the right direction. People ask me what's going to be unbanned, Greg, and then are they going to move to the game changer list? I can't. I wrote in, or I had signed an NDA. I can't talk about that type of stuff. But if you read through the article, there might be some indications as to ones that people, or at least WotC, are looking at that could come off of the ban list. So definitely keep an eye out on that. I like the bracket system. It's coming around. Like I said, there's a lot of really great things WotC's doing about the format, and I think people just need to be on the pulse. So, yeah. The deck tech, I don't know how long did we spend on this, maybe about 45 minutes. I hope that was enjoyable. If you did see the first part of the stream, or you want to go back to it later, I'm going to have the VOD set up so you all can watch the box openings for the ones we did. We did a Chocobo Bundle, and we did an Encyclopedia of Magic. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you watch it, there's some cool things, some cool hits, maybe some disappointments. It's all good. But I'm not done with the stream. I did promise the clients who purchased the altar that we just posted today, I did want to highlight that because I think today was more of a Final Fantasy stream. So with that, let's talk about this altar here. So again, if you haven't been following my wife and my sister-in-law's page, I suggest you do that. We're Sublime MTG altars on different parts of the social media platforms that y'all can get access to. Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, right? And we're still trying to make our way on YouTube and go from there. But go check our stuff out. This is an altar that we did. It's on Rolly Tutor. And so if you play Final Fantasy or low Final Fantasy, obviously this is a easily recognizable character, Tifa Lockhart. We did a Tifa Lockhart style altar in the past on the card called Exploration. And obviously there's a Tifa Lockhart commander that you can play. I did pull that in the box. Let me just break out the FF bundle again that I opened, because I sleeved it up and I was like, okay, that's appropriate at least for this stream. So let me pull the one that I got. So if you play Tifa Lockhart, you're probably gonna want other Tifa Lockhart style cards. So thematically, you're probably playing, giant growths. Anything that gives Tifa a buff for combat, because your landfall triggers are gonna net some really awesome effects by doubling Tifa's power each time. And so if you saw the one that we did earlier on Exploration, that was awesome. But Rolly Tutor is another great green card. And so of course, a lot of the weebs that love anime also probably play Magic, and I'm one of them. And you can't I think inherently, because we love the game and we love Tifa, the way that she is, you can't you can't picture Tifa any other way, right? So just a close up on that. Thank you to the client who bought it earlier today. I think you're going to enjoy this card. It's perfectly hand painted, all the stuff that we do. A lot of folks ask us if it's printed. Obviously they're not. They're all hand painted. And we do it in a way where we spend a requisite amount of time on average for a card like this, 30 plus 40 hours or so, to make it perfect. So if you like this card and you like the theme and you want to see more Final Fantasy, go back to our Facebook page and then just give us a like. So yeah. Did you all like this altar? I hope you did. All right. So let me close the box here, and let's put it in a sleeve, because every time we ship our altars, we gotta put a perfect fit on it first of all, and then we put it in our very cool deck or card protector. I don't know what the best way of saying it is. So that's going to fit perfectly right in there, and then we're going to get that magnet to do its thing. Secure this card. This. Yep. And it should be good to go. Oh, hold on. Not damaging the card, I promise. There it is. So that's ready to go. We're going to put it in a party mailbox to the buyer and get that out to him. Oh, as far as cost. So I suggest you take a look at the cost and the price guide that we have on the page. You'll get a chance to see exactly, or get a general idea of how much a card like this costs. So if the full art altar, we generally start out at about $450, and then the top range is in the ballpark of about $1,000. So we're very grateful to the buyer. He purchased this card with shipping and card costs. It ended up being about $825. So thank you again for that. I'm going to put that in here, and then get it in the party mailbox and out in the mail tomorrow. So there's that. Oh, Hutch. Yeah, no. Tifa is awesome. All the landfall triggers, all the landfall shenanegans, Mossborn Hydra, Bristly Bill, etc. They're all freaking amazing. So, I personally would build a Tifa deck, but I think my limitation is I'm at 2 green decks right now. Whether I want to build a third, that's gonna be, that might be a bridge too far. But I'm sad now because if I had Tifa as a commander, I probably wouldn't have sold those 2 cards that went to the buyers for the exploration and now the Rolly Tutor. Okay. Looks like I have fatherly duties to attend to. What's up, boy?
Which kind of towel have you been using?
Towel?
Yeah, and
okay, I'll get to the towel so we can clean up the puppy's mess. Okay.
no, not the puppy's
What is it?
towel. The
To
one-
shower?
Yeah.
Yeah, just use one of the bath towels.
No, like which color?
Any color, doesn't matter. Do whatever.
Like the blue one's mine.
Yeah, just use the blue one.
No.
Okay, use any one that's in the drawers.
No.
Okay, can you give Papa 5 minutes because I'm just about done.
Okay.
And I'll help you.
Like.
Okay, just to wrap up. Thanks again to the chat. I think there was a lot of good conversations. This is more. This is actually more conversation I have because usually I'm playing Commander, and it's hard for me to keep track of the chat. Appreciate you all coming by. To wrap up, we did some really cool things. We did 2 box openings today. The first one at the very beginning of the stream was for the Final Fantasy Chocobo Bundle. I would say, in terms of value, it could be there. Just depends on what you open. I think the storage is great. I think it's amazing. The bonus cards are cool. I'm not sure if I made my money back today. We'll see, because I paid $150 locally for this. That included the tax here in New Mexico. Great. I think great storage, at least. The bonus cards are cool. And yeah, good luck on your pulls and if you decide to get a bundle. And then the second thing that was part of the stream, just to recapture that, we did do the Encyclopedia of Magic. I think it's a cool buy. If you have a chance to buy it at cost or a friend hooked you up, awesome. If you're waiting for price to go down on eBay, I would suggest that. You know what you're getting, but what you don't know is whether or not the cards you come in are going to be foil, non-foil, or surge foil. my box, watch the video. No real surprises, but there was a few things that I highlighted that I liked, and I was fine with it. And I did mention there's about 6 or so cards or so, or within the encyclopedia that you could definitely use in your Lord Windgrace deck. So check that out. And then the third part of the stream is the deck tag for Mairsil. Just kind of went through most of the cards, about 70% of the cards on why they're useful. And if you want to make a Mairsil deck, go check out my link that I posted in the chat. I'll do it again now, and you can see that. And then last but not least, the last part was the Tifa Lockhart Altar. That's getting shipped out tomorrow. Check out our page; it's great. I think you'll like what we do. So yeah, that's it. The recap. With all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to the wide world of Twitch and all the folks that stayed on. You were awesome. We will see you next time.